Yeah. Look it, we made it. Big checks, I like to flex. Got a brand new Mercedes. I Louis the chest, this ain't no guess. I'm dripping this wavy. You want the hook, you want the feature, you gotta pay me. We grind on the daily. Just look it, we made it. Big checks, I like to flex. Got a brand new Mercedes. I Louis the chest, this ain't no guess. I'm dripping this wavy. You want the hook, you want the
Welcome
feature,
back, you're now watching Sold in 60, the one and only timeshare podcast in the world. And I'm your host, Richie Rich, my right-hand man, Down Payment Dylan. And today, our guest is someone very dear to me because I watched them begin, and they're 2 years in the game and already a multi-million-dollar writer, number one at their resort, killing the game. So give us love in the chat, give us love in the chat, give us love on the comments, and I want to introduce our guest, Beatrice. Beatrice, welcome to the show. That's what's up. Welcome to the show.
Right, for sure.
So we are doing an in-house series, talking to different reps from in-house. We have guests that say, we want more in-house. So we started last week with, I think it was Brandon Velez, and we went. He's at another resort, and we started talking in-house. But we want to just chat with you. So welcome to the show. Thank you for coming. You look great.
Thank you.
Okay,
for
sure.
You know what I mean? Shining. And for some context for the viewers, because they don't know who you are, but I did say that you are only in the game for 2 years so far.
Correct.
So tell me this. Tell me about the journey. How'd you hear about the industry? How'd you get involved? Like, how did that go about?
Well, I started, first of all, I'm Beatrice. So hi, everybody. So I started the industry because of my brother. He was in the industry for about 4 years, and I was into medical school at the time. And my brother was like, hey, I'm in the industry. I'm doing so good. You should have joined us. And this is how you can make families happy and, having their vacations, places to stay. And this is how pretty much how I got in.
Got you. So I remember your brother saying, hey, like, I want to bring my sister in the game. And your brother was already a great producer, top writer. He was working at the Westgate Lakes. And I remember him saying, I want to get my sister. And now one thing I'd be like, your sister? I don't know, man. Like, as family, I'm so like, I feel like the business has a lot of guys in it. And I think when it comes to bringing in like our kids or siblings or family, like we got to be really protective. So I was like, you sure? He's like, yeah, man, she'll be great. So I remember that journey. So coming in with a brother that's successful, did you feel pressure? Like,
I did feel a little pressure. I was like, in the very first beginning, I was like, if I don't make any sales or if I don't get into the business like they expect me to, what I'm going to tell my brother, that's such an embarrassment. So I got in strong, and I used to watch videos, read, and,
So you watch videos. What videos did you watch?
Yeah, I've watched your podcast,
okay.
matter of fact. Don't ask me for the title.
That's what's up.
I do watch some videos. I read some closer. It's a book called Close Survival. I read about that, how to close people. So that's pretty much.
I think it's Survival. It's a white book.
Yeah, a white book.
I think that's Grant Cardone.
I don't remember the author, but I read a couple pages. And
so you wasn't in sales before that?
I was never in sales, no.
Okay. And for the viewers that don't know, Beatrice was actually, and still, you said medical school.
Medical school.
But you were in school while starting the training, no?
Correct. I was into working on my bachelor's degree, which I still am. And that's when I started training.
Okay. Let's let the viewers, so say that again. She's working on her bachelor's degree and a multi-million-dollar writer. That means not giving up the vision. A lot of people will get into the business and forget about what the dream was. Correct. Forget about what the path was. Because the money could be so good that you like, why am I studying to go to school for that? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm making more than doctors right now. Like, why should I continue doing that when this is lit? So kudos to you for still managing both.
It was pretty hard, not gonna lie.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of studying and a lot of training books to read and memorize word by word at the time. But
training. Tell us about training. What's that process like?
Training was pretty tough. memorizing each single word they required you to, and having very strict trainers was the worst.
Yeah.
If you miss one word, you're kind of like, hey, you're dismissed.
For sure. Yeah.
But
did you see people get cut in your training class?
I did see one lady, she couldn't memorize, and it was tough for her.
Wow.
Got you.
Yeah, I would have spent all night long knowing that I had to, pronounce and say the words the right way in front of the trainer, act like they wanted you to act like a sales rep. And I was like, I've never been in sales. Like, how you expect me to act that way?
For sure.
But that was pretty much
I hear a little accent.
I do.
Yeah, where you from?
I was originally born in Brazil, and I grew up in America. But, speaking Portuguese with my parents at home, it's what kind of kept my accent.
I love it. We love. Shout out to all the people from Brazil and the people that speak Portuguese. As a matter of fact, they're a huge part of the travelers in Florida.
Oh, absolutely. Big spenders too.
Yeah,
for sure.
And owners and real estate owners and all types of,
Yeah.
But
Obrigado.
So was that like do you feel like that helped you, or was that a barrier that you had to overcome?
What do you mean by
like with your accent?
I feel like that was a kind of like a little battle I had to overcome, especially with one of the trainers I had.
There's always that one.
There's always that one that picks on your accent.
But I heard that sales reps that have an accent have an advantage when it comes to selling because people buy from people that have accents. That's what I heard.
I mean, I feel like it depends, honestly. It depends on the family, depends on, their culture and all that. But I actually could never sell to my own people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I hear that a lot. Like some like I know Spanish reps that don't want to take Spanish tours.
Yeah. I mean, I never take Brazilian Portuguese tours because I just feel like it's hard. I'm young. I look young, and people kind of like see me as a not very credible individual. So that's pretty much was my issue with them.
Yeah.
But if you give me a family, with the desire of owning timeshare and making that memory with their families, I can definitely sell them.
So we have some reps that say, some TOs and some managers, they tell their sales floor, don't have a plan B. Timeshare should always be, plan A. But, everybody's situation is different. So we have to ask you, is there a plan B for you or right now in your life, timeshare is just it's the main bread and butter?
Timeshare for me right now is literally the plan A I have. I do go to school and all that, but I've been taking school very slow. I'm using timeshare to build up my life and then eventually hopping into my plan B by the time I'm 40 years old.
Yeah.
That's my plan.
Nice.
Well, you're way ahead. You're way ahead of the game. And I want to say this. For those people that may not know the path that you've come, let's talk about starting. What's it like starting, coming through training, get on the sales floor? What year did you start?
I started November 2023.
Okay, so let's talk about coming in November 23. So that's that season where you really only have December, where it's like 2 weeks of high, what you call occupancy.
Correct.
The tours are high. And then comes January and it drops. And then the resorts are like, well, we don't need that many people any now. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I've seen you be a part of that wave, right?
Yeah.
And it takes a tenacity and a strength and a will to not take that personal. People, sometimes they end up in that cycle where, the resort has to they have what they call like trim the fat, right? We have to, and then it can be discouraging when people don't come back at all. And you've seen that. You went back. Well, they said, hey, we need to sit everyone down for a minute. And then you came back, right?
Yeah.
And what was that lesson like for you?
I mean, my brother kind of gave me a heads up of what's going to happen. I remember I started in November. I took my training classes, and then December, I had 2 weeks to show I could do it.
Yeah.
On my first sale, I remember Kanan, which is my brother, helping me out throughout that sale. And that was what, kind of got me to, hey, I can do this.
Yeah.
If my brother can do it, so can I. Right. But during January of the following year, I got fired, actually, for numbers. I couldn't make it, which I got pretty upset. But I was holding tight, waiting to see if I could get the opportunity to keep in. 2 weeks is very short for you to
for sure.
kind of like show your skills and what you can do. But like the longer you keep it in the industry, the more you can learn, obviously. So
I want the viewers to understand that. You're talking to a person who started, got let go, went back, got fired. and now is the number one representative in the company. Right. Let's talk about that. What's that feeling like?
Yeah. So it feels amazing. It feels like there's so many things people believe in, but I believe that on my the highest power there is, I'm the daughter of the Almighty.
Yep.
And that's what put me there. It is hard. It was hard, and I've been learning throughout this time I've been there, and I'm just now getting the hang of it. But I got to make it. Mm-hmm. So I'm there. It feels amazing,
Yeah.
Not to be cocky or
anything.
Nah. Talk your shit.
No, we love that for you.
It feels amazing to have that family, and at the end, after your pitch, and you're going in and hearing them saying yes to you. That's the most amazing feeling ever.
I love that.
Yeah.
If you had to look back on your earlier years and just say, what do you think you were doing wrong in the beginning that you kind of realized now, oh man, in the beginning I was doing that wrong? What are some things that you learned that you were doing wrong in the beginning?
So in the beginning, because I've searched so much about timeshare, I realized that timeshare was misunderstood. So people don't really understand how powerful timeshare can be to you and your families. Like it's a time where it's like families spend their whole life trying to earn money, and and they don't realize that by the time they're retired, that's when timeshare should be the key for them. So that's what so many tours that I have taken that kind of taught me that timeshare is the key for you. Timeshare is what gets you going after you retire, especially because it's kind of like a retirement plan. So I've learned that from a lot of older people. And in the beginning, I was just nervous, scared of, speaking the truth, talking about timeshare with emphasis and putting love into that. So the first thing you have to do is believe in the product. Once you believe in the product, then there's nothing that can phase you.
Facts, absolutely.
What do you feel like was there anyone that you could say helped you to make it click? To if you didn't know your process, was there anyone that kind of helped you? I know you said your brother, so shout out to Kanan for sure. But, anyone else you want to give your flowers to? They helped me understand that what I'm doing is impactful, or a different process to help people say yes.
So that's a very tough question, but
because it's probably a group of people and different experiences, right?
Definitely. But what made me change my behavior on tables when people told me no, when people said, hey, I cannot afford this, was the manager I chose. I remember one time I had a very complicated tour, and I kind of had an argument with the manager saying, hey, you got to help me with this tour. This is what you got to say. So I feel like he got kind of offended about how I spoke to him. So he said, I'm not going to TO your table today.
What?
So I had to find a TO for me at the time. And I know Irvin Matique was the only manager available that day. And she always been the manager for a top rep. So I was like, hey, here I am. I'm not a top rep. I just started, but I need your help. And her behavior on tables, what got me going. I learned a lot from her. And even if people tell her no at the time, she gives them a big smile and say, okay, thank you. Thank you for being here. Right. Thank you for enjoying, never leaving the table in the nasty way kind of thing. Yeah. So I learned a lot from her. I can tell that she was my mentor. She's still my mentor. She's still my manager. And we do great together. We have a really great dance.
Do you believe that the TO works for the sales rep, or the sales rep works for the TO?
I believe that the TO works for the sales rep.
Oh, really?
I believe that you do your job, obviously, but the TO, the way they approach, it's what closes the deal. Because you can do your process, you can follow the whole entire training process and close them. But if the TO comes with a nasty vibe where this is the price, this is what you're going to do, and that's not going to work. So her approach is what makes my tables so much better, makes them love us, makes them look at us as a credible way, makes us, I don't know.
The dance is good.
The dance is amazing.
The dance is good. I want to say that I know from what I know about you, you look very strong, very straightforward, right? And I think that that's important for people to have that type of strength, especially as a woman and a younger woman dealing with families and all that. So how do you overcome objections without seeming defensive?
Because I've heard this from a lot of families and also from my manager, because I look very young and very innocent. I tend not to be competitive about the situation. I tend to say, hey, this is what I suggest to you. I tend to be very passive on the things I say back to them. And that's what kind of get them to see, hey, this is not a sales pitch. She's actually trying to help me have a vacation time, build memories with my family. And, this is kind of like what gets me big deals and all the sales I've been getting so far, thank God.
Yes. As a matter of fact, you just wrote $100,000 this week. You know what I'm saying? Shoot.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
that was pretty amazing. I'm shocked. I actually pushed the guy to the least expensive portion, but he ended up picking that.
Most reps would say, there's a lot of reps out there. Well, first of all, in-house, that's where the bigger deals kind of go down. On frontline, you really don't get $100,000 deals like that. But what would you say is the most important step of the sales process?
I feel like the most important step, it's making them feel like they're important, that you're not trying to take money from them, that you're just trying to help them maximize their vacation time with their families, building memories. You worked your whole life for this. This is creating that bond that you need with your significant other or with your family, and this is pretty much what gets them going. And actually mentioning to them that although there's so many options out there, that what costs less to your pocket is the one you should do.
So if you're in the lobby and you grab your family, you get them in the lobby, you go take them down to your seat or wherever you sit them at, and the first thing that comes out of their mouth is, hey, my mom's the owner, my dad's the owner, we own a 5-bedroom unit already. What's the first thing that's going through your mind as a salesperson?
It's frustrating, not gonna lie, but the first thing I usually tell them, that doesn't faze me, because I've heard so many owners telling me, I'm not gonna buy this, I'm not gonna do this, I've done this for so many times, this is so tiring, this is annoying. And the first thing that comes to my mind is the amount of families I have sold, but they also have told me the same thing in the beginning. So that doesn't really faze me. But once a kids owner sit in front of me and say, hey, my parents own this and I'm not going to do anything, that kind of makes, I usually tell them, hey, are you driving your parents' car for the rest of your life, kind of thing. You got to have your own, whatever your parents acquired throughout the years is not the same thing you should end up with. So this is pretty much what gets me ongoing.
For sure.
I want to say this. So 2025, second year in the business, still in college. You wrote $2.5 million. You closed 40%. You have a 7,500 VPG. What separates a top producer from the rest of the pack?
Mindset. Mindset is the key. You can't have a family in front of you with all the objections that they give it to you. You cannot just say, this is not a qualified tour. You got to do your best. You got to do whatever you can. And,
what is a qualified tour, though? What's your definition of a qualified tour?
I feel like the qualified tour in front of me is the one that carries both owners. If you have both owners in front of you, there's nothing that you cannot do to not sell them. There is a way of selling them always. And I feel like the key to be a good sales rep is having a personality. The pitch, everybody knows. Right. But having your own personality where they love you is the key. Any type sales.
And you make them want to take you home to meet their kids.
I've been through that so many times. There were families who took photos of me and said, hey, I'm taking this to my kids because you're the perfect woman, kind of thing. But I feel like personality and also sharing a little bit about you. When throughout training you think why this is so important, but it is important. You sharing a little bit about yourself.
For sure.
Maybe now that I'm in house for 2 years, I don't really share the way training teaches you to. But what I share with them about my life, about how I was raised and where I come from is the big key to see the credibility within you.
Well, let's talk about that, because some companies don't teach. We talked about that the other day. We called it about me. Some companies don't teach you to say anything about yourself, right? And we believe that we were taught that that's part of the process, right?
Correct.
It builds some type of commonality, a little bit of understanding of who's talking to you, so they respect you more. So I think that's important. So would you say, we talked about training, but what's your process like when it comes to your sale?
Well, I feel like I have kind of like a conversation with them. If I tell you I have a process, I don't. I sit down explaining what's going on with the company and, how's breakfast, for example, and how is the unit doing them. But I don't really have a process. If I tell you that I have 1, 2, 3 B steps, I truly don't. I just started talking to them, hearing from them, and then if there's any commonality, I throw every information I can from myself to them. But if I see that they're pretty dry, and I kind of say, hey, I grew up in church, I come from this type of family, and I've been in the industry for a certain amount of time, and I'm here to help you maximize your vacation portfolio and things like that. So that I feel like my young face kind of helps me out with the credibility, and people truly takes me.
Yeah.
When you get your tour, when they hand you your tour, your paper, and it has your family's name on it, are you the type of rep? Because we're speaking about in-house. Are you the type of rep that runs to the computer and looks up their history and how many times they visit what resort and who they toured with last? Or are you the type of rep that just takes it, go and do your thing?
No, I do not check on accounts, because I feel like what's meant for you is meant for you. So I feel like if God gave me a specific tour, that's what it's meant for me, either as a sale or not. I feel like I was meant to be there with them. So I do not check the accounts. And I also feel like that gives you a negative mindset. If you see a 1994 account, 2-bedroom that never did anything, which have happened to me before, and I have sold them. And those were seniors that I have built, probably a 5-6 hour store, but I was able to sell them due to, again, personality.
Right. I mean, you just sold somebody that had over $600,000 worth of timeshare.
Correct.
So you see, there's nothing. It's the mindset.
It's the mindset, definitely. When people see those big accounts, they're like, hey, there's nothing you can do. They're tapped out. But, I've seen people had no need and, sometimes barely money. But the way you tell them how to vacation, how to use it is what gets them to say yes to you at the end.
I love it.
How long was the learning curve for you before you actually started popping off into,
So my first year, I was number 6 in the track out of 70 representatives. And my second year, which is this year, I'm number 1. But on the very first year was probably 9 months. 9 months long, yeah. I remember I used to sit at home and I used to watch videos about timeshare. I watched the video. I heard somebody was pitching about capital gains and things like that. So I learned all of that and how to increment that to my pitch. So that's pretty much 9 months, what took me to learn a little bit more.
I love that you went hard to dig deeper, because I feel like sometimes what the resort gives you is just not enough, right? Yeah. You give you training, you give me a script, but there's no back end training, there's no dance training, there's not much product knowledge. You kind of learn as you go. Correct. And there's a lot of people who are afraid to start an in-house because they feel like it's just too much, it's too complicated. But here's a person that wasn't in the business, came in and went in the in-house and mastered it, right? Mm-hmm. So there's somebody out there right now that's debating, should they go in-house or should they go to frontline? What would you tell them?
Definitely housing. House is where the money is. I would say new owners who are buying 2024, 2025, they're probably not as financially stable as owners from 1994. There's nothing you cannot do to not sell them. There's always an angle that you can have. And I believe 1,000% that angle will always be personality.
Do you sell more on logic or emotion?
Emotion, definitely.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. I have this technique where I put some glasses on and I'm like, hey, you have to do this. Those big eyes and people,
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So you still have fun with it every day?
I do. I love the job. I don't know. I love what I do for studying, but I also love what I do for work. And it made me think at some point, should I really go to school? That's pretty much what I was stuck at some point, because sales is amazing. You learn every day. You have fun. It's a fun job to have, especially timeshare. You meet so many different type of people, and it's just fun. I love it.
And people don't know, there's people that work with you every day, and we're in the business where people always watch people and, oh, what's she doing? And but they don't understand. Not only are you there at the resort, but then you go to school and you work out.
Yeah.
You love to work out, don't you?
I
Yeah.
do.
You see those muscles? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, like woman power. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to anyone that out there that's considering getting in and on the fence. Like this is a prime example of success and tenacity and with God on your side.
Oh, of course,
You know?
always.
That's what's up.
He's the number one.
Word.
If it was not through him, I don't think I could make it.
Let me see. In-house, we're on an in-house series, right? So we're talking about that. So we learn process. Discovery is pretty much what you said. Have the personality, have good conversations and find angles, right? There's someone out there that, let's say they want to get into the business and they want to your words of wisdom to them. Anything you would tell them?
I would say learn the product as much as you can. Have faith that you make it first, because if you don't believe in the product, there's no way you can share that emotion. Like sales is transfer of emotions. I learned that in training. And if you don't believe the product, there's no way you can make it. And truly be yourself. You're never going to see that individual again, most likely. So do whatever you can, share whatever you can. Be friendly with them. Never be nasty. Because one thing I have learned, one thing I hate is sitting in front of a family where they have told me I've been mistreated by the sales representative. And I've seen that killing people with kindness is what get them to say yes. And I've seen them many and many times over and over and over and over. So yes, definitely learning everything, believing in yourself, having faith, and knowing the product, and lastly, personality. Invest on your personality. If you know you are an extroverted person, make jokes, laugh with them, ask about, things about them, and things like that gets you there. Now,
if you're introvert, how do you, how do you work? So you were an introvert before?
I was I feel like I still am. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like timeshare got me, out of my shell a little bit. But I was very introvert. It was pretty hard for me in the beginning, especially when that time came where to say yes. And you're like, how come they say yes to me? And then how should I ask for the credit card?
Right. What's next?
What's next? That was the most important. But I go very like, hey, can I get your credit card for this? So that kind of gets me.
How do you navigate the politics? We were kind of talking about it earlier. How do you navigate the politics? Are you in the cool circle? With people talking behind your back, with people playing with the wheel and things like that. Do you let all that negative thing, or even just being in the rep room waiting for your tour and hearing all this negativity? How do you stay away from negativity at the timeshare industry?
It's pretty tough, especially now that I am number one, thanks to God. But I feel like a lot of people put you against the wall and say, hey, you're just a different person because you're making there. But I feel like I'm in a dome, like in a glass dome where nobody can touch me because I have an almighty power taking care of me. So no matter what they say, no matter what they think of me, I know I'll make it. And that's pretty much where I stand. I believe that God puts me there. And I got fired, and 2 weeks later, I don't know if it's too normal. I haven't heard anything similar to my story, but 2 weeks after I got fired, the boss calls me and say, hey, we made a mistake. And ever since, I've been writing. And first time being number 6 for the track is pretty good, and then number 1 for the track. I know a lot of people have being let go, or a lot of people, decided to do in their own ways. But I feel like that was God's purpose for my life, to maybe have them go and have me there to be. So
would you consider being a TO?
No.
Not yet?
Not yet. I feel like I don't have enough knowledge for that. Even though I've been learning from the best, I don't have enough knowledge for that yet. Yeah, it's a lot about the industry I need to learn.
No, you're on your way. You're on your way.
But I'm loving the journey. It's so amazing. And I remember one time, it's so funny. I used to work in a car dealership. And I remember the boss telling me, you can never do sales, Beatrice, because you're so introverted. And then one time my brother came and showed me a $13,000 check for one single week. I was like,
I'm out of here.
I want to join. I'm out of this car dealership where I make $400 a week. And everything you put your mind into, you can make it.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. I love that for you.
Yeah.
We're very, very proud of you, and we appreciate you coming up here. You know what I'm saying? We should have had the limo driver pick her up because she is a big deal.
For sure.
But we appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Any closing statements you want to make to the people?
I just want to say that God is great, and if you believe it, you make it.
For sure. We have some sales reps right now that are, they kind of going through it right now, whether it be cancellations or maybe they're just at the bottom of the list and they're trying to fight their way back up. But, we know things are going great for you right now. But what about when things are not going great? What do you do, or what motivates you to keep fighting and stick in there? Because, we're not always at the top forever. Sometimes we come back down. It's just the law of the numbers, So what do you do when you at the bottom and you got to fight your way back up? What motivates you?
So the industry itself is pretty challenging mentally, because some days, obviously, like you said, it's on the top, and then some days you're in the bottom. But my key, people cope on their own ways. But since I grew up in a Christian family, a Christian household with a lot of principles, my belief it's God will get me there. So the days thankfully, I haven't had a week where I go without a sale, but the times that I have been, I prayed. That's all. People, some of them go out drinking. Go down doing their own things. But I feel like praying and speaking to the Creator is what gets me there. And I feel like as long as I keep on that mindset and I keep my connection with the Almighty God, that's what's going to continue me being number one. And I hope I can be number one for this year, until December, God willing.
Sure. What's your take on weak reps that just pitch heat to get deals? Because they're out there, they exist.
They do.
I
mean, it's hard to say, but I feel like at some point they will get caught, I would say.
For sure. And I've seen reps get fired for pitching heat or whatever the case may be. I mean, I was always that rep that I walk that fine gray line. I'm not going to cross the line, but I kind of dance right there at the line. And obviously I've had the opportunity, like, man, if I just straight up lie to them, I'll get this $50,000 deal right now. But me personally, I just couldn't do that. But there's other reps that they don't mind telling whatever lie that they have to tell to get that $50,000 or that $60,000 deal.
I believe that, like I said, like everything at the end of the day, everything's going to lead me to one thing, one key. And that key is God. It's Jesus. So I feel like I would never fully, I wouldn't lie to them outside of anything that I learned into training, and I've been learning off Westgate timeshare. I wouldn't say anything it's more than what I have learned. Because if that's what they teach you, that's what the truth truly is. So I don't go outside of that. I don't go, I don't say anything that's outside of what I learned, because I feel like if God put me there, if I am able to sell people as much as I do, is because He provides to me. So two things cannot align together. So God and He is being the provider to me cannot align with the lie. So that's pretty much where I stand. I would not be that. I'm not be in the middle and not be on the edge either. Almost,
You won't be on the edge either. Okay. So
I'd rather not get the deal.
For sure. So you're going over the back end you're on the back end with me. Let's say I'm a family, and you're showing me that this timeshare is really worth, let's just say, $50,000. But for whatever reason today, I'm able to get it for 20. And I say, well, Beatrice, if I pay 20 for it today, can I, turn around in a couple months and sell it for the 50 that it's really worth? What would you share with me?
I would say timeshare, that's the first thing I said. If I'm being honest, timeshare is truly hard to sell to somebody else if they don't have the affordability you're asking for. Maybe going over that, right of first refusal the company has.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure.
Absolutely. Got you.
But timeshare is something that you should think about carrying for life, because it's the least expensive way of going on vacations. It's a memory-making business. It's where you're going to spend more time with the family, create that bond with them. Timeshare is truly what it is. It's bringing you together with your family. And it kind of obligates you to go on vacation
Correct.
and build that bond, because you have to be there every single year. You have to pay that maintenance. So once it hurts you money wise, it will make you do things that sometimes you don't usually do if you didn't have to pay for it.
For sure.
So
Absolutely.
I don't know if that answers
No,
your
you're
question.
good. You're good.
That's pretty much what I think.
And you in your resort, you get a mix of different, because you get exchanges as well, right?
Sometimes.
Okay. But you get owners, you get non-owners as well? Sometimes? Okay. Because some in-house departments at other resorts, they don't get any of that. They only get owners.
We do sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, I
Barely
gotcha.
though, barely.
Okay.
There's some teams, you can have only owners, you can have a mix of everything. When there's no owners, obviously checking in, I usually take, both or whatever is in front of me. Because whatever is in front of me is an opportunity, you can easily change their minds. There is always exchangers. There's a few exchangers I have seen before, and they had many timeshare. And if you own one, you most likely want two, and
Right,
two and
of
three.
course. Yeah.
So yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Some people out there are timeshare junkies. They own multiple timeshares,
yeah.
multiple companies. Or
Well, at
whatever
least
the
they
case
use
may
them,
be.
man. That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Vacation in different places. You can own at Disney, you can own at Westgate, you can own at Marriott, you can own at Hilton. I mean, how about a little bit of everything? You know what I mean?
For sure.
As long as you can afford it, you
As
know what I
long as
mean?
you're able to
Then
afford
go
it,
for
you're
it.
good.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So shout out to everyone that watching today's podcast.
For sure.
Right? I know they love to see you again.
Yeah.
So we'll follow your journey. Comment in the comments what you like about this one. You know what I mean?
For
and
sure.
we appreciate you coming in. Shout out to the people that are going to training next week.
Oh yeah.
You know, shout out to the people on the rise. You know what I'm saying? We got a guest coming up shortly. Her name is Nelly. And Nelly,
Shout out to Nelly.
shout out to Nelly.
Yeah.
So Nelly's gonna have her own story to tell. You know what I'm saying? Because she's transitioning from one department into the sales floor.
Nice.
And we're gonna follow her and get her on the show and let the people know, because there's always someone out there that's thinking about taking a leap. And thank goodness for you ladies sharing your journey. You've been encouraging them, so we appreciate you.
Yeah, I'm very happy. I hope Nelly does well.
Yeah, she will.
So Richard, pay some bills real quick before we get out of here.
If you're looking to get your real estate license, go to richdaleschool.com. They have pre-licensed courses, continuing education, and post-licensed courses. richdaleschool.com.